Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers here today. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Welcome to all of you joining us here today. We are talking about our upcoming Gold Symposium. It is our tongue tie symposium, which is just right around the corner, September 13th and 14th. If you would like to join us for that live event, 2 days, you can go on to our website right now at goldlearning.com and you can register for 1 or 2 days. Lots of options for everybody this year, of course. And we'd love for you to come on the live day. We have some very special guests here today. They're actually going to be joining us live for the event as well, presenting on a fabulous topic, which is called The Bigger Picture Takes a Bigger Team, our journey from tongue-tie division service to holistic care. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Gold Learning here, to Kate and Justin. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you. We're very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you were able to sit down with us today. Now, I wanted you just to tell us, first of all, where you are in the world. It's so wonderful that we have an international audience. And of course, we like to have representation from around the world. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you are, and a little bit about your practice?
My name is Kate Roche. I'm a physiotherapist and IBCLC. And
I'm Justin Roche. I'm a consultant paediatrician.
I suppose really what we're doing is we're providing a service for what we needed 22 years ago when we found ourselves with a new baby who had feeding problems. And you know, it's our journey throughout the years getting to this point of trying to be what we needed for other families.
That's incredible. I think it's so interesting because I think these personal connections and stories, particularly for those of us who work in healthcare, they seem to come up, you know, and we get very driven and very passionate about wanting to make sure that the journeys that we take, that they're improved, you know, for the people that come behind us. So it sounds like, I mean, you have a beautiful large family. And so that's wonderful. Six children, 4 tongue ties later, it says in your bio. So you did well there. You did very well. And you beat me by 1. I have 5 and only one tongue tie in my immediate family. Yes. So but it's so interesting. I think we were mentioning offline how things have really changed over the years, and really we're still in the infancy of learning and lots of controversy, right? Kate, Justin, we were talking about that, you know, in terms of what's around. So can you maybe tell me more about, you know, from the time that you realized and recognized that you wanted personally to make a difference, how did it all come about? Because it seems now, I've seen some pictures of your setup and your clinic. It looks glorious, but it hasn't always been that way. How did you get there?
Well, I suppose we had the experience with one of our children, and to try and get the service that we needed here in Ireland for her was very difficult. You know, in essence, it wasn't there. And Kate was very much on the, you know, well, this is something that's needed. We need to be doing something about this. So initially we started very much just as a division service, and set up with little more than a tin of scissors, and away we went and doing divisions. And I suppose as we learned more and experienced more, and in helping other families, we started to realize where that wasn't enough to meet the needs that people had. And so we brought in the different elements. So, you know, Kate was able to join the clinic and bring her experience and her knowledge. I mean, your background as a physio is fairly extensive as well, isn't it? So,
well, I suppose when we started, when our first child was born, it just so happened we were both working on the neonatal unit in Southampton in England. And so we knew the lactation consultant, we knew the pediatric surgeon, and I suppose we got lucky that they were in the right place at the right time that helped us. And it was once we moved to Ireland, we realized the problems we had, and we were looking for that. But it's tongue tie is one of those things, if it's not on your radar, it's not something you have a particular awareness of, but once it is on your radar, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And when you have a baby in front of you with a feeding problem and there's something you can do about it, you know, and that's how it came about, that Justin started treating them initially in the hospital. But the problem was we kind of started taking over, because there was, you know, babies, they need to be looked after, they need to be fed. We were taking lots of rooms. People need space. They need to be able to take on board all the information, etc. And so that's when we realised we'd overstayed our welcome and needed to set up our own space that we were in control of.
Right.
And we could meet the needs of families.
Right.
That way.
Yeah.
And it's really grown organically from there, and same as the team has grown. You know, we wanted to have the people with the right experience, and every member of our team brings something new to it. So we have 3 lactation consultants who work with us on a weekly basis. They would all have different backgrounds. For example, one was a neonatal nurse as well, another has a psychology background, another is midwife. You know, everyone's bringing something new.
Beautiful.
To meet those needs. And
in coming together, we're each learning from one another, but also, and we get a greater understanding of the importance that each of those people, you know, bring to the family as well. So when you've kind of got that working together, and when we've got a child or family where they're having particular difficulties, that you know, being all together means we're able to brainstorm and come up with solutions. You know, whereas, you know, ordinarily, you know, many you can provide the very similar service for them, and that will meet their needs. And then there's some children that just have got something different where you've got to go about it in a different way. We need to get more work done in preparation, or that they need something, you know, the lactation consultant and Kate to work together to get that child feeding, you know, those kind of things.
And I think that's been invaluable, being in the same place. You know, we can just say, oh, I just want to ask Justin something, or, you know, lactation might say, oh, well, we need to try some domperidone, or we need to try some finger feeding, or whatever it is.
Sure.
And we can work together, we can pair up, we can say, you know what, you know, you have a feed there, we'll come back to you in a little while. We can then just stand in the corridor and decide the best way forwards.
Yeah.
And that gives us.
Yeah, and you know, and for some children, you know, we'll talk a bit about kind of timing and that in our talk as well. But, you know, sometimes the thing to do is not to do a division. We've got other things we need to do to get them set up better, so that we get the outcome that we're looking for. You know, so now that can sometimes be a hard sell for families. You know, when they're expecting, you know, they want the solution, solution now. But it's, you know, that for some of them, we need to do a different journey to get them where they actually need to get to.
Yeah, and I suppose that's why education is such a big part of it. It's, you know, educating the families, empowering them by giving them the knowledge to make the best decisions.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just loving this. I'm like totally absorbed in this conversation. You guys are you're setting us all up. This is fabulous. You are the epitome of collaboration. I mean, like I said, I'm lining up to come over and be part of this. It feels really positive, you know, because we've talked a lot about over the years, there's been we've sort of somewhat been in silos as professionals, you know, and we really need to be together. And we don't all have to agree. I think it's about respecting each other's different didactics. Like you said, you've got different backgrounds of folks who are with you now, so that you can really understand and perhaps even push each other a little bit to understand the different elements that are going to make, you know, the situation better. So to me, it just sounds fabulous. And I know others will want to learn more from you of how the steps that you got there. And hopefully you'll have a chance to, you know, share a little bit about that with us as well. Now, before we wrap up today, we just have a minute or so left, and I know you're excited to share with this audience more of your journey and what it looks like. And I'm gonna tell people right now, like sneak peek, what's happening with Kate and Justin. You're gonna see it real time on video as well. So they've got some incredible videos. So be sure to join us live in order to really learn and see some of the amazing things that they're doing in their clinic. But Kate or Justin, is there something else that you just want to maybe just lead and tease the audience a little bit about of what you're going to be sharing on the day? I'm really super excited to hear more.
I suppose what we want to do is get the idea of looking at the lifetime now. I think our focus when we started was infant feeding, and really everything we were looking at was infant feeding. And I think the big change now is, whilst infant feeding is every bit as important as it always was,
right,
we also need to look beyond that.
Sure.
Tongue tie, the understanding of the implications throughout the body, throughout the lifetime, is very much that we need to look at airway, we need to look at tension within the body, we need to look at skeletal growth, we need to look at optimal function. We've got much bigger
yeah. And another thing I think that we hope to bring as well is for those children where you've done a division, they've had reattachment, we've got a couple of little bits there in terms of different things that we could be looking at trying as well. But
Sure.
we're not going to tell you any more about that.
No,
now.
that's it. That's
one
enough.
for the day.
That's right. We want all of you to come, and it would be great to have many of you there live. So book it on your calendars right now. You can go to the website. I want you to go check out all the different time zones, because of course, being an international conference, we're all at different times, but you will be able to check it out live on our website now at goldlearning.com for our tongue tie symposium. We've got Justin and Kate Roche who are going to be joining us, telling us even more. And I tell you, you're in for a treat, folks. This is going to be a fabulous presentation. I'm excited. I can't wait to learn more from you guys. Thank you so much for sitting down with me here today. It's just been my pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. And to all of our viewers, if you've got questions for Kate and Justin right now, you can actually pop them in down below, and we can get this conversation rolling right away. There's lots of things happening and still changing in the field of tongue tie, and we want to hear from you. What are your burning questions? What do you want to know? What do you want to learn? And where do you want to take your practice next? So thank you once again to Kate and Justin for being with us here today. And of course, to all of you, our viewers. Bye-bye for now, everyone.